Ding ding. Welcome to another episode of Bell to Bell. I'm your host tonight, Jose Garza, and I'm joining along with me is our boy Milton Wint with another co-host of ours. Milton, take it away.
This is my brother from another down here, Chad. He was we envisioned this entire pod. Jose came in and we finally did it. But me and Chad have been in discussions for years about doing this. So, Chad, please introduce yourself to the people that don't know, because the only time that they've seen you is on Facebook with no viewers. So please introduce yourself to the people, brother.
What's up, everybody? I'm Chad. You'll probably be seeing my face a lot more around here. Um, I hope to bring y'all some good entertainment, some good knowledge to think about, and yeah, let's go. I'm ready to rock.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. All right, we don't have
Yeah.
many views right now, so I'm gonna say something really funny. You
Oh
said
my goodness.
entertaining in the most monotone voice I've ever heard, and it was really funny. Just thought I'd put that out there. Uh,
Let
but
him listen up
Chad,
a little bit. Let him listen up a little bit.
he'll get there. He'll get there. He'll get there. So, Chad, real quick, tell us your
Yeah.
introduction to Jose's beautiful question he asked me. Tell us your introduction to it. Could be UFC or MMA in general. How long you've been a fan? What started the journey? Say that and let's do that introduction.
Introduction. I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been about 6 years now. I was a casual about the first 2 years, but I mean, Milton put me on, and like I said, at first I was just a casual and I wasn't watching as much. But as I got older, I realized how real the sport is. So
Mhm.
I've been tuning in a lot more the last 4 years. And yeah, favorite fighter is I don't want to mention his name. Let's continue.
Whoa. You can't do that. You can't do
I'm
that.
sorry, bro. He just
You know
lost,
what?
bro.
Well,
It's not Chris Benoit, is it? I mean, it's not like somebody that's done murder, right? Like,
that's funny. That's
Nah, nah,
funny.
nah, 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 nah.
He
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 doesn't get
just
that wild.
lost.
He just
What? Could you
lost.
just say it, please? Now I'm interested. I thought I knew.
Wait, who did you think?
he
I
said he
thought
just
it was.
lost.
I thought it was maybe Adesanya or something like that.
No.
No. Okay.
No, man, it's Brendan Allen, man.
Oh yeah, you were on the coattails. Let me say this and then we'll start the show. Jose, he made a hot take and it was looking good for a moment. Brendan Allen would be the UFC middleweight champ 2025. He was on an uprise, but yeah, definitely not gonna happen. As we've seen, it's not. He's skillful everywhere, but he is a
Yeah,
boneheaded. It is what it is. IQ means a lot in championship level
I
100%.
mean,
MMA.
at least he didn't say the dude, or what's his name? Bryce.
Mitchell?
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell. At least he didn't
Well,
say Bryce
Oh no.
Mitchell.
someday I think
Oh no.
once that occurred, we should have made a pod because I had a
Did we? Did we really
it
need to
was
say
funny.
much? Does
I
he?
think
Does he
so.
deserve our honors for a
Yeah, that's
vacated
true.
episode?
That's true. That's true. That's fair. Fair, fair, fair. But a lot of fight announcements, fellas. I mean, it's been a while, Jose, since we've discussed anything. Chad, off air, we used to discuss things. It's been a while for that. So we have a lot of fight announcements that were recently announced by UFC CEO Dana White. And came at a most perfect time just because it's been kind of dead as far as UFC. There's not been
Yeah.
announcements. It's any kind of MMA creator or content creator has definitely been chomping at the bits for this kind of moment. Anywhere that you guys want to start, you want to first get into as far as either Ilia, the pay per views, the fight nights, anything? Because
Um,
otherwise, I could go.
I mean, we should just start with the biggest news. Ilia
Yep.
Topuria vacates the UFC featherweight title and to move up to the 155-pound class.
Mhm.
I think it's a very interesting move for him to do. Recently, some people have been coming out, including Diego Lopes, featherweight title contender, and said that there's a new policy out there, kind of like no double champions anymore. That the Dana White's
Yeah.
tired of seeing that. I find that very intriguing and find a weird timing of it, but at the same time, I understand it completely because I get it. I want my champions to be defending their titles and to be ignoring that, responsibility. It does suck. So
How
I
much
give
merit do
prop.
you put in that? Do you think that's true? Because fighters just say things sometimes.
Well, why not? I mean, why not be true, right? Because think
Uh-huh.
about it. When you have double champions, let's say it's a lot easier with Amanda Nunes than it is with the male fighters because there's a lot more activity going on.
Mhm.
It's not like if Ilia Topuria went up, there isn't title contenders at 145. And same with Islam. If he moves up, it's not like there's maybe a handful of guys that can fight for the title at 155. So I understand it because it does get annoying. Because remember, think about this: when Conor won both the featherweight and lightweight title, how many title for defenses did he give?
0. Yeah.
Exactly. So for both titles, and those were held up for a good minute. Jose
Yeah.
Aldo, I think, was interim champion or won the vacated title right away. So it's I understand it. I'm okay with the rule. I just think it's maybe weird timing, maybe just because it was out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why Dana would even go into that. But like you said, Jose, Ilya vacates the title. Chad, let me ask you first. Your first initial reaction was what whenever you got that news?
He really wants to fight Islam. That was my initial reaction.
Mm.
I mean, the type of guy that Ilya is, he doesn't mess around. So he said he wants to take over that division as well, and he's
Mhm.
done enough in the featherweight division with the competition he has beat and how he has beaten them. So I don't know, man. This guy is serious. Is he the next face of the UFC?
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: if he, uh, we'll go over like who do we think his potential first opponent will be, but if he does beat Islam or whoever that, let's say Islam's not the whatever, who if he does beat the champ, I mean, what a run! You beat the two, I would say top 3 featherweights ever of all time. I mean,
All
in
time,
any
yeah.
like not speaking of just UFC, in my opinion, in MMA in general, beat 2 of the top 3 of all time, finish both of them, and then go up to fight the boogeyman of 155 that also hasn't lost in multiple years. If he does do this, yes, it will be a legendary moment. Now, Jose, who do you think the first, both of you actually, but Jose first, the first fight prediction of Ilia Topuria? Don't think he goes straight for the title? Or he has to fight, not has to, but he will fight a contender in the 155 division.
You would think if he's giving up his title that he would get an automatic title shot.
Hmm.
Now, in this case, I probably wouldn't, just because there is a line of contenders right now at 155. There is Sarukian, there is Oliveira, there is guys that are trying to move up on that. So there is people that are in contention. The first one I would give Ilya is Arman Sarukian. Main reason is Dana White already came out and said Sarukian's not getting a title shot,
Right.
even though he got injured within 24 hours of their fight.
Mhm.
So do I think that's fair? Sure. It's you pull out last second, you make them have to hassle. So and you might not have been ready for the title fight, to be honest. Let's be real. So this gives them both a good, tune-up fight to see, all right, does Ilya deserve a title shot right away, or does Arman deserve to get back in his name into title contention?
Yeah.
So I think I would book Ilya versus Sarukian.
Do you agree or have a different answer, Chad?
I believe it's a very good point. It makes sense, but I would love to see that fight. I would.
What you thinking? Go ahead.
I don't know. It does make sense. Um, because it would be nice to see if Armand fought um Ilya, then I would leave Oliveira to fight Islam again. And I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see that again. So
Mm.
I mean I really like that point, Jose. But I think he just gets back in there with Islam. It makes so much sense. I mean, it'll be a super mega fight.
Yeah.
Everyone will want to see it, and yeah, it'll be a huge fight for sure.
That was kind of the game plan when I said it on the group chat too. When I said Oliveira gets Islam, make that rematch happen because
Yeah.
Oliveira was also booked for his rematch and he fell out of that fight too.
Yep.
And he never got it. And then book Ilia versus Armin. Make it a little Grand Prix. Make it a little tournament. Let's have fun
Yeah.
with it. Book them in May or June, those two fights, and then the winner of each other fight each other in Abu Dhabi in October, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I like both of your points, and I hear you, Chad, just because what would be the best for the company is Ilia against
Right.
Islam, of course. But also, just like both of you pointed out, the competition in 155 is still there. So I'll say, I guess it just depends on what kind of narration UFC's trying to do. Are they trying to get the easiest, but for casuals, competitive fight for Ilia to get to the title? I would say go with Oliveira. I think against Armin, it is definitely more. He could win, obviously, but it's a more competitive fight, which is good for all of us. I think all of us would love to see that. But there's a chance that, of course, Ilia might not be up to par for a guy that's big at 155 and Armin Sarukian. Versus if he fights like Charles Oliveira, Oliveira does not have the best chin. He will be on his back for times a period that sometimes as fans we're like, just come on, you don't have to
Mhm.
really just take the position that's at hand. So I think it just depends. The easiest path to the title would be against Oliveira, in my opinion. But the Armin would make the most sense, Kosei, to your point, because both of them, I mean, it would be a guarantee
Do
fight for
you
the.
do you think stylistic wise, you think Armin's a more dangerous fight for Ilia than Charles?
Oh, 100%.
I don't.
100%.
I actually
Why?
disagree.
Why?
I actually because I think Charles. I understand they fought each other and it was a split decision, but
Uh-huh.
I do think Charles at peak for peak is a much better stand up and could be a more dangerous ground game for Ilia. Because we've seen him fight these power guys, these the toughest of toughest of 155ers, and over Charles overcome them. Yeah, he's been on his back, but he also knows how to come back. Look at Michael Chandler 2 times. That
Mm,
guy is a freaking jackrabbit, and he finished him twice. Or I mean, no, the second one's a decision, but he owned
decision.
him.
Yeah.
He owned
Yeah.
him. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I'm like Armin. You gotta think about this too. He got a split decision win over Charles. So some people might have thought Charles won or
Which is
whatever, right?
crazy. Go ahead.
But at the same time, too, then mentally, the boss just said you don't deserve a title shot after you got injured.
Mm-hmm.
So that can psychologically mess him up in a fight with Ilia Topuria. And we just said it. Ilia Topuria just came off of being back-to-back top 145ers all timers.
Right.
And so we're gonna put him up while against Charles, two guys who are on the rise, while Armin technically his stock is going down.
That's
I
good.
think the tougher fight would be Armin versus Charles versus Ilya. And I think if I'm Dana, I'd rather book Ilya with an easier fight. And in my opinion, it'd be Armin.
So well, I agree with your last point on matchmaking. I totally agree with that. Now, again, of course, I disagree with who's more difficult because I hear your point on the Oliveira thing. But with Oliveira, when he went up against an actual top grappler, I don't consider Michael Chandler a top grappler whatsoever in the UFC. When he goes
Mhm.
up against a top grappler, again, he accepts positions against Islam and Armin where one guy finished him and another guy, to me, unanimously beat him. So I disagree which fight is more difficult for Ilya because Ilya has great jujitsu, great grappling, and great stand up on the feet. Of course, it would be interesting, but I think Armin's chin has been, I wouldn't say tested more, but it has shown more resilience than Oliveira. Oliveira, the first good shot that gets landed on Oliveira,
He's going down.
he's going down. And again, it could benefit him. Of course, I agree with that. But I just disagree on the competition part. Me and you differ. But Chad, what do you think as far as just competition? Who do you think is what's more competitive fight for Ilya, and what's the more easier, in your opinion? Because we differ.
I actually think that Sarukian would be um, the more difficult fight. He's
And
he's
why?
more on par. He's more on party with it on par with his body build, how he's built.
Mhm.
So I mean, we haven't seen Ilya coming in at 155. So does he after? weigh-ins, does he go up to about 160, 165? Like, we don't know what he's going to be like. So I do feel like the harder fight is going to be Armin. Just because points that you brought up, Milton. I feel like Ilya, he just knows how to find a way to touch you. So Oliveira is easily accessible in that situation. So I feel like, yeah, he's gonna find Oliveira's chin easily, and it's gonna show. And Armin, I feel like he's the more of the technician out of him, and as far on the feet, as far as him and Oliveira. And yeah, I feel like it'll be a very technical fight. And it's gonna be on who lands the bigger shots. So I do feel
Yeah,
like
but
Armin will be.
good. Well, good. But I will say the one point that I do agree with Jose is just making it make sense. I didn't think about, yes, Sarukian's more. I'll say this. I'm not going to say going down, but at least for casuals, definitely going down, right? So I do see your point on that. You might as well just make those two fight,
Well,
and
not
then
even
just have.
not even like casuals, but even for the UFC matchmaking, they're seeing
Mhm.
Sarukian stock down. It's not just
Right.
it can't just be. It's overall because he just if Dana White thought that Sarukian was a big enough name to give him another title shot, he would have just done it. But
Correct.
even he said, "Nah, I don't really want to. Let's go ahead and he's not going to get another title shot. His stock is
Yeah,
falling."
I think it's going more towards that. I think you're right. And also for anybody wants to see the Oliveira Islam rematch. I mean, I don't know why, but I think it's just because of name. Uh, do I see a different outcome? No, but that's not the conversation. Now, let me present to you fellas a question. Now, let's just say Islam and Ilya, either this next fight or the following fight, both that are 100% ish, fight camps is different, but both at 100% ish. What chance, percentage wise, what chance do you give Ilya of dethroning Islam Makhachev? And of course, whoever wants to answer first.
They're both
So
at 100%.
yeah.
Yep. Like at best, no injuries, no staph infection, because that's different. So just
Yeah,
best case scenario, both of them are as good as they're going to be. Not a bad weight cut. What percentage would you give Ilya to dethrone Islam, and why? Of course,
I'd give him about a 10%. Give him about a 10%.
10.
Yeah,
I'm a.
Sheesh.
It's,
I
hey,
just
Jose,
yeah,
me, father's plan, but that's all right. Tell me, talk to me. 10. Okay. Why do you think
yeah.
Islam's such a more? What do you think will happen? In your opinion?
Wait, can I take that back?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take that back.
Okay.
I forgot about these recent fights. Um, 100%. I say 40,
Remember,
60. In Islam's way,
that's
just
okay.
because Islam,
That's a
he
big jump.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
that I
is.
I
Because
res-
I thought about how much faster Ilya is. I feel like he's going to be faster than Islam.
with his
So
hands
on
for
the
sure.
feet,
Yeah.
yeah, on the
Mhm.
feet. So we know that Islam can be touched, and Ilya just finds a way every time. He makes the greats look like normal people. So
Mhm.
I can see Ilya going in there and doing something great, but Islam also has that it factor as well that he can go in there and just turn it up. I feel like he will try to keep it close. If not close, then he'll keep it on the ground,
Mm.
and I feel like he'll find a way to win. I feel like his coaches they're better than um Max and Volk's coaches, so they'll see the holes that they didn't see, and he'll
Mhm.
somehow find a way to win. But I do feel like Ilya does have a, a big chance for sure.
Yeah, he has a death touch. But what do you think, Jose? Percentage
I,
wise,
I think as of right now, Ilya
Hmm?
is the best one that can beat Islam
I agree.
going up in the weight class like that. And the part of the argument that will say that he can't really cut weight down to 145 anymore. So he's a big guy. He always looked like a big guy in 145 anyway. So there's a lot of confidence right now. I would say it's more 50-50
Okay. All
than
right.
Yeah,
anything. we got to understand too that we just saw Father's Plan fall of just a little bit.
Hey, leave Umar out
No,
of this.
no. We don't have
Go-
to. We don't got to
go
do any of that. We don't got to
Go
do any
ahead.
of that, Milton.
Go ahead. Go
Father's
ahead.
Plan went
Mhm.
crashing down just a little bit
Mhm.
when he went up against another Georgian in Marab, the champion. Because I'm not going to try to say that last name. And Umar struggled. He early on looked really good those first 2 rounds, but when it came to guts, Marab was the better grappler. He was the better fighter. So obviously that's not the case here, right? Both are champions, both guys that can go a long distance. But there is a lot of confidence now that someone from that kind of style, that kind of camp could do it. Now, obviously, they don't go to the same camp. They do 2 different camps.
Yeah.
But now there's going to be a lot of questions. I think there should be more questions than there is just like, oh, well, Islam could take him down whenever. It was like, true. But we also saw in that first Volk fight how much tougher it was competing with what a tough freaking 145er who knew his wrestling. Now, I'm not saying Topuria knows his wrestling at the same level, but I do think Topuria right now, with a wave of momentum, even coming off the Marab Umar fight, I do think that there's a bigger chance for Ilia to win that fight. And if he can get past either Arman or Oliveira, if he does get a tuna fight, it's going to even bring more confidence for him to beat Islam.
Okay. Well, I second Chad's on I'm 60-40 Islam. Unbiased. Biased wise, I mean, I'm 95-5, but I'm not gonna say that live, okay? Because that could bite me in the butt. Yeah, that could bite me in the butt. So I'm not gonna say that because everything that you just said, Jose. Well, one, he hasn't had to use it, but I've seen videos out there. Ilia's jiu-jitsu is very, very good, and just like the problems that Islam problems, because that's a whole nother conversation, he had with Volk in the first fight, short and stocky. He's closer to the ground, hips good, all that. Same issue is going to arise with Ilia. But also on the flip, not on the flip, but also to benefit Ilia has one, and I think his power will transition to 155. He has power that Volk has power and speed, but he doesn't have Ilia Topuria power and speed, especially with the boxing. Now, again, I do think Islam will get it to the mat, and he will keep him there. I don't know about a finish. I think Ilia has really good jiu-jitsu. But even on the feet, as long as it's condensed and controlled, we've seen Islam thrive on the feet as when he's in control. Don't get me wrong. I got it. 5th round against Volk. I think the 3rd or 4th round against Dustin. When he's not in control and tired, it doesn't look so good. Got it. But majority of the time, he's very, very controlled, technical, and strong on the feet, which I think will, even on the feet, not just grappling, will provide Ilia with trouble. That's why I honestly, for Ilia's sake, hope he does fight an Armin, because that'll get him armed for, no pun intended, armed for a fight with Islam. Because, both great grapplers, very strong, very big, very good kicks, very similar as far. So, percentage-wise, though, 60-40. Yeah. Unbiased. Now, anything else with Ilia before we get into these fight announcements?
Yeah, if they fought, if Armin and Ilia fought, who do y'all have?
Go ahead, Jose.
I've got Ilia.
I likewise do. I think Ilia. I don't think he finishes him. I don't think Ilia's just going to go on a tear and just start finishing him.
You know what?
He can.
You know what? He finishes him.
All right. Of course, Jose. Jose always does this. Okay.
I don't care. I don't care for an easy decision. I want a convincing story. I want a convincing finish, and give me a 4th round TKO.
Well, that's possible. We've seen Armin get tired in fights. I can see that. His boxing is just when he challenged Max Holloway's best boxer in UFC, he was 100% correct. We all have seen it. He's possibly one of the best boxers in the UFC. Him or Dustin, of course. But yeah, I would favor Ilia. What about you, Chad?
Yeah, same. Ilia.
I think I don't think finish, but Jose says 4th round TKO. I think decision unanimous, not split, unless we
Well,
get this.
let's not forget Sarukian's only had one 5-round. He's only gone
Yeah,
all the way to 5 rounds, and he lost that one. It was a
yeah,
decision loss, but
close.
it was close. But I mean, still, I mean that still says that opponent, that level of his opponent, Gamrot,
Gamrot.
it was not the same as Topuria. It's gonna be a higher level of an opponent. So I want to say that's gonna be a bit of a difference right there.
Yeah, I think Gas Tank, especially Topuria not cutting down so much, it'll be on his side for
He's
sure.
gonna feel real good not having to cut those extra 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we've seen him one time at 155 on short notice against Jai Herbert, and he almost got finished by Jai Herbert. If anybody wants to go back and watch that fight, he almost got caught by a head kick. Well, he got caught by a head kick, was almost out. Jai Herbert's a numbnut, and then he got knocked out, of course, viciously. Actually, viciously knocked out by Ilia Topuria. Okay, let's go to this, the worser of the two pay-per-view fight announcements. Bilal Muhammad is going against JDM, and it'll be his first defense of the welterweight UFC championship. Fellas, I got to admit to you before we talk about it, I think Canada, okay, I'm not, okay, let me rephrase that. It's going to sound like, okay, hold on. I think Canada's not, either the UFC, when they travel there, don't get the amount of money like they do, let's say, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or, Miami or something. Because whenever you're bored, go research all of the pay-per-views that's been in Canada. This one as well. Bilal Muhammad, JDM. I think whoever wins is a decision. If it's Bilal, decision, no action. Valentina Shevchenko against Manon Fiorot. I think whoever wins, decision. Probably no action. Manon Fiorot is a great kickboxer. She hasn't finished anybody in the last 3-4 years. Valentina is not going to be able to keep this on the feet, so she's going to probably make it boring, quote unquote, because I don't think she'll be able to finish her. I just have a hunch that something's up with Canada and the UFC. Am I crazy? Or because these two to be the main, co-main and main event is kind of crazy, just action wise, not even name value.
But I would say you're right. They haven't given all the love. Now I ain't trying to be a theorist or anything, but where did you come from?
There he is.
Thank you. Peace out, homie. When you look at the rest, at least when you look at the rest of this card, let me just throw it out real quick. Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales should be fun, but Gilbert Burns is stuck on the way down.
Yep.
Alexa Grasso, Natalia Silva should be fun. We know the women always put up a fight.
Love that fight.
And Marc Andre
Barrio,
and Bruno Silva. Yeah, I think I know Dana and then we're really low on the countries and the places that didn't let them fight during the pandemic. So you can see what those cards look like post-pandemic and pre-pandemic. Because I remember pre-pandemic, especially with the GSP days, Canada was one of their favorite spots to go to.
Right.
So, but I don't think this card's that bad. I think obviously what happened was, Shavkat got injured. He couldn't make the fight. So he's not able to make it. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be his
of course,
inauguration for the title runs, but they gave him the next best thing, and sadly, the main event's gonna be a grappling match. It's gonna be who can out grapple who for 25 minutes. And I think we're underestimating the Valentina Shevchenko fight. I get it. Farad's a kickboxer. She likes to do her thing, but let's not forget Valentina is a monster. She's one of the best. If not, she's the best today, but she's been always one of the best for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I expect a finish on that one. I really do. I expect there not to be. And if it does go to decision, you're looking at a women that are busted up badly, beat up, destroyed one another. But I do give a finish. I give Valentina a 3rd round finish.
Oh, I hope you're right. Chad can attest. I have been the biggest Valentina supporter. And since I started watching MMA, I said the women's GOAT is not Amanda or Chris Cyborg. It's Valentina. And that's definitely subjective, and you could definitely make a very good case against it. But just to preface everything, I'm a huge Valentina fan. It's just the last couple fights have really pissed me off as a Valentina fan. Anytime she gets touched, Alexa Grasso, let's not forget, is not obviously now she is. She wasn't a 125er. She was a 115 pound, a straw weight. And she was giving her problems with the jab and a straight both of the fights. And it was pissing me off. Like for Valentina, because she is a dog. I agree. And she, Muay Thai champion, again, one of the greatest MMA women's martial artists of all time. But it seems like her ability to take a punch now has changed. And going against a Manel Ferro, which is longer and a natural 125, could be a bantamweight, could result in problems. I think, of course, if she can dictate the pace and change it more to a grappling bout, I think, of course, Valentina wins. But I don't know, man. I'm just scared. Alexa Grasso. I don't think Alexa Grasso is on Manel Ferro's level in just pure striking, and I think that's gonna. Bullet just got to make sure she wrestles. Let's wrestle, please.
I want to hear Chad's thoughts on the fights before I rebuttal that one.
Okay.
Yeah, Milton, I think you're tripping.
On what? On which one?
I don't know. I like this card.
Oh, okay.
Bro, it's nothing bad about this card.
No.
I mean, the JDM fight, I don't think it's going to be a barn burner, but I also don't think it's not going to be any action. I feel like Bilal's looking for the knockout,
What? When does that happen? Okay, go ahead.
Hey, he said he's looking for it. He didn't say he's going to connect.
Okay, right on. Right on.
Fourth round's going to come in. He's going to knock his ass out. As far as the Shevchenko fight, yeah, that could go either way. If she doesn't want to look bad, I think she just grapples and tries to keep it close because I don't think it's gonna go good on the feet for her. As far as the rest of the card, this is a beautiful card, bro.
As a pay-per-view. Okay, so let me just real quick. Go ahead. Chad.
It's not the best. I understand it's not the best, but this is a decent card, bro.
But
it's better than 312. It's better than 312.
You're 100%. Oh my goodness. We didn't have a show for 312 for reasons. Okay, I couldn't do it. But even this one, I'm not saying on paper and people like us, I'm not saying that. I will pay for this card. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just action-wise. I disagree on the Bilal thing. Yeah, no. I think Bilal wins, but this is going to be a snore fest for a main event. It's going to be hilarious. People are going to boo, guarantee it. That's my only guarantee on this card. People are going to boo in the main event. Co-main event, I hope you're right, Jose. I truly do, dude. I promise you I do. But I just don't. If it's going to be a barn burner, Bullet is going to get her face beat on, unfortunately, because she's not the striking she used to get away with against lower level talent. Doesn't work. It seems like it's not working anymore, and it's pissing me off. By the way, go ahead and refute me, please.
Well, you gotta understand too. For a while in that first fight with Grasso, she was winning it, but you're right. She was getting tagged. But you gotta understand the Mexican boxing.
I got.
It's lovely to watch. They are pundits, Milton pundits. To learning the jab, to learning to freaking just make it simplistic. And so, it takes you out of your rhythm with Valentina. You got to also think, too, when Valentina also lost her and got that face crank and she looked like the Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. She was also on a dominant run where she was probably getting bored with her title fights.
I agree. I'm not mad at that.
Because she was looking for a new contender, and she was probably very surprised. And then in the second fight, obviously, I think we all think Valentina won that second fight.
Easily, but on the feet. But on the feet.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And so, but of course, draw, not too bad. Then they get the freaking third fight, whatever. It happens. Valentina walks away as the rightful champion after their trilogy fights. Mm-hmm. But I don't think, I don't want to say this. I don't know if Farad, maybe since she's on the older side, I don't know how much she'll actually dig in there to deep. You know what I mean? Like to really want it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It's a weird thing. I think Valentina has found her groove back. I think going back to having the chase for the title made her, love the fight game a little more again.
I
And I
hope
think
so.
she needed that loss, that little setback, even with the draw being a setback. I think she needed it so we can get back to Valentina, the bullet that you've been striving to see, the one who finishes her opponent and then does her little twirling ballet dance,
Mm-hmm.
and shows out. I do think Valentina is going to go out there and show why she is the undisputed champion, why she's the best women's fighter, and try to make an argument why she's the best woman fighter of all time.
Yeah. I hope you're right, Jose. I'm not gonna debate it because there's a way more stat card that we got to talk about.
Well, let's get to it.
Now, UFC 314, Miami, Florida. They always do it big in Miami. So whatever they're doing, keep doing it.
Pandemic reasons.
Yeah,
They didn't
Florida. You're
close.
right.
They didn't shut down.
You're right. You're right. Florida. That's a very good point. I'm actually glad you made that. In Canada, yeah. Anyways, Alexander Volkanovski, again, Ilia Topuria, as we spoke earlier, Ilia Topuria relinquished the belt. And now Volkanovski and Diego Lopes. Is it Lopes or Lopez?
It's Lopez. It's Lopez.
All right. All right. Diego Lopez are going to fight for the vacant UFC Featherweight Championship. Now, everyone wanted to see Diego in this fight. And yeah, I don't think anybody's mad at that. With Volkanovski, obviously, when it comes to historicity, he deserves it. But when you also see that, okay, well, he's lost, two of his last three by knockout?
Two different weight classes, to be fair.
Right. True. And then him getting the title shot. I'm not mad at it. It's just kind of odd. And you couldn't really put anybody else there. If you put Max, that doesn't make any sense either. But with the Volkanovski and Diego Lopez fight, Jose and then Chad, what was your level of excitement for this bout specifically?
Hell yeah, let's get it. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to see Volk back in the cage. I'm ready to see Diego Lopez trying to take the crown from him. What better way to inaugurate if Diego Lopez does win the fight to have beaten one of the best featherweights of all time? Mm-hmm. And yeah, Alexander Volkanovski, 2 knockouts in 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. Yeah, it happened. It happened, and he took a year off. He took a lot of time to recover so he can come back and so he can be a more refreshed fighter. Diego Lopez on his sock up. This is the perfect fight to give either guy. Either Volk becomes a 2-time champion, stopping a young up-and-comer, or Diego Lopez becomes a champion by beating one of the best featherweight champions in UFC history. I think this is a perfect fight for the UFC to throw.
Right on. You want to add anything to that, Chad? Because I got another question for you, Chad.
Not gonna lie, I'm sad, man. I don't think this is gonna go well for Volk.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry. I just don't see it going well, man.
You just have a feeling because of the momentum, or what?
Yeah, the momentum. He's too hot, man, and he's good everywhere. He's good everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he was Volk was easily beat by Topuria. So I feel like Diego has some of that. He's not as fast as Topuria, but he hits just as hard, if not harder. So,
but Chad, wouldn't you agree though that's a lot easier to get knocked out by Topuria when you literally take a fight after you got knocked out 60 days ago?
Right.
Yes.
You're more susceptible. Like I think that's the biggest thing for it between that whole conversation.
But then again, on the flip side, you have to think that Volk at this point, he's been out for a year. Right. I think Diego, how many fights has he had in the past year? About 2, 3?
2.
Probably 2 when they all went to decision.
Yeah, and he almost got finished by
he didn't
notice.
It wasn't I mean, he dominated Brian Ortega, but it wasn't like,
it's Brian Ortega.
Wow, like how the way Volk beat him, like wow.
Yeah.
And against Dan Ige, short notice, I'll give both of them the benefit of the doubt for that. In the 3rd round, he almost got finished. So I don't know. With Diego Lopez, you could be right. Don't get me wrong. He definitely hits hard. But when I've seen him lose, again, short notice, Movsar, a dominant grappler. And then on the Contender Series, if my memory serves, against Brito, Joanderson Brito, another grappler. I think Volkanovski, if he plays it smart, which I think he will, he can. Yes, Diego Lopez is a great grappler, like a jiu-jitsu black second, third degree black belt. But we've seen Volkanovski dominate those jiu-jitsu guys. I think Diego Lopez obviously is better than Brian Ortega, so I don't think he'll dominate him like that. But I don't know. I think Diego Lopez definitely could knock him out, especially if Volka's just it's done. It's time. But I think Volkanovski has every single tool in his toolbox that can beat a guy like Diego Lopez.
I agree. I agree. To that point, I agree. But yeah, he's 36 now, man. Diego is 30.
This will be
the Brian Ortega fight was 4 years ago, Milton.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just saying. That's it, right. But I will say, to your point, history is on Chad's side. I don't know where you're leaning, Jose, but there has not been any title shot champion, like winning the championship under 170 pounds has never been older than, I think, 34, 35.
So
Jose Aldo, no, he wasn't. To win the title, like not to be because Jose Aldo looks 50, but he's right now he's like what 35. Not even it's go ahead.
Oh, 38. He's 38. Okay.
Right. So I'm to win the title. So a challenger to win the title, I think it's under 170 pounds because the bigger weight classes, you don't really have to cut weight. Power means more up in the higher weight classes. But Alexander Volkanovski has the opportunity to make history. And I really hope he does. I get your point, Chad, on all of the points, but especially the feeling. There's a feeling that Diego Lopez, again, is doing this, and Volkanovski is looking like old man Volk. I got you. Narrative-wise, I got it. But I think tools-wise, I think Volkanovski has every single tool to beat a guy like Lopez. I've seen Lopez lose twice, and he lost the same way. So I think he could lose again. But let's not get hung up on this one. Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett. I don't know how to really feel about this fight. I think it's a funny fight. I think it's a hilarious fight. I can't wait for the press conference. Now, Chad first and then Jose, tell me your thoughts of it. Like, how excited are you? Does it make sense to you, etc.?
Chandler's on the way. Oh, go ahead, Chad.
I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I'm one of those guys that just hate Paddy. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it stems from, but I think it's the shit talking. It doesn't add up.
Well, and Jared Gordon. Yeah, Jared Gordon, I think that was the one.
Yeah, that's a big factor as well.
Yeah. He was hurt though.
Yeah, I was excited to see this. He actually got somebody who can knock his head off. So yeah. I want to see, but we know exactly what Paddy's going to do. He's going to try not to get his head knocked off. So he's going to be trying to grapple, trying to get him to the ground, but I don't think Chandler's going to allow that to happen. So pretty excited for this one. Pretty excited.
What you think, Jose?
I'm excited to see that Paddy does finally get an actual tough fight. Respectfully, right. No, like all his past fights, they've been, let's take care of Paddy Pimblett. He's our feature. We gotta coddle him. We gotta make sure he's okay. Like, no, I'm tired of that. Give him a real fight. Michael Chandler's on the way down. He's lost last 2 fights. He's only fought once in the last 3 years, so he needs to be in the ring more. Needs to get back into what he was. Give me Chandler by knockout. I don't care for Paddy. I'm tired of him getting coddled, but I don't think he has the skills enough to beat Michael Chandler.
Yeah, Paddy's skills on the feet, because I was a Paddy guy. I was telling a lot of people about Paddy before he came in the UFC. And on the feet, he has not changed a bit. It is crazy. I would think you go to the UFC, you're going to tidy some things up. But on the feet, I mean, Paddy Pimblett is there to get hit. Michael Chandler has great power. But also, Michael Chandler, IQ, is one of the worst in the UFC. So I think it's a brilliant matchup because I don't know which one is going to show more. The IQ of Michael Chandler or the chin, the lack of striking defense with Paddy. So I can't wait for this fight. Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull making his UFC debut. I think he's 35 or 36. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He's on the other side for sure.
Better late than never, I guess.
37. 37.
37, even worse. Okay. Better late than never. Love Patricio, man. Love the Pitbull brothers. Patricky kind of sucks. Let's not get onto that. Yair Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull. Give me y'all's thoughts, Jose, first.
Patricio Pitbull versus Yair Rodriguez is going to be a fantastic fight, fantastic stand up. And just like MVP, I think Patricio feels like he's got a lot to prove. Be like, hey, I was a Bellator champion. Respect me for who I am. And so I think he's going to go ahead and he's going to give a barn burner, and the winner of this fight gets an immediate title shot. 145 needs it.
Yeah, especially Patricio wins. A new contender is on the horizon. What do you think, Chad?
I couldn't tell you guys the last time I seen a Patricio fight.
That's fair.
This
Okay.
man, he's 37. So I don't really know how this is going to go. I know it's going to be a stand-up bout for sure. But I honestly hope another newcomer comes and just starts smacking people up. I don't want to see it. So hopefully Yair goes out there and handles his business.
Okay. So, well, one, to inform you, Patricio went, obviously he was a Bellator guy, but he went to Ryzen for a couple fights. They had like the little together thing.
Yeah.
And it's been mixed results. I'll say that. He is coming off of a win, I believe, Kennedy, but a guy that's not really UFC caliber kind of guy, or UFC contender caliber kind of guy.
A lot of Bellator guys like that. Yep.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, big time. but what the positive for Patricio? I mean, I again, I could be wrong on the math. In the last 10 years, the brothers strictly lost actual because he got hurt against Benson. I remember that. And he lost against Sergio, but he went down to 135, which he had no business doing. So I don't really, it's a loss, but I don't really count it. But for his weight class, in the last 10 years, he's lost maybe 3 fights. So I hope Patricio wins emphatically, just so it can spice up this featherweight division without Ilia being there. Because I would love to see Patricio Pitbull against Volkanovski. I would just love to see it. Extremely love to see it. One last, we're going to get off of 314. There's a lot of great fights on 314, but time-wise, I want to talk about Leon Rocky Edwards going against Sean Brady. New opponent. It was supposed to be Leon against JDM, which I thought was a brilliant matchup. But now it's Leon against Sean Brady. Sean Brady finally has the momentum back. And I truly am torn. Because Leon, I would say, Leon for sure could beat Sean Brady. But I don't know what kind of Leon. I saw Bilal Muhammad do whatever he wanted in the grappling exchanges to Leon. And Sean Brady is a better overall grappler than Bilal. So I am torn on this. What are y'all's thoughts? Jose first.
Sean Brady embarrasses Leon Edwards in London.
Damn. I was hoping you didn't say it.
We all have the same idea. There's not really much to say.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. Anything, Chad? Come on, give me some hope.
Let me try to give you some hope.
Headshot.
I feel like
just kidding.
No, not that much hope.
Right.
I feel like the first round is going to be a little
competitive. Not this much right here.
Brilliant.
I do feel like the first round is going to be competitive, but I feel like soon as Leon starts to dip, Brady's going to put it on him. He's not going to have anything to do. If Leon comes out like he came out last fight and performs exactly like that, or even something similar to that, it's going to be a hard fight to watch for a Leon fan.
Yeah, I think it'll be even worse because Bilal's not a submission threat. Sean Brady, he could submit you from any position imaginable on the mat. So I really hope Leon changed some things up. He says everything. He was dead. He wasn't really there, or whatever the excuse was. And that could be true, but I hope it was true. And he shows up this fight because Leon also is a good grappler, a defensive grappler, but I don't know if that's there just because of his last performance getting dunked on his head twice. Yeah, I can't. I don't know how serious I could take him. Last one I want to talk about, Brandon Moreno, Steve Erceg. Mexico City, Brandon Moreno gets a new face finally because he's been fighting. It seems like he's been fighting the same kind of guys every single time. Now he got Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg was on the rise and then got knocked out by Car France. And Brandon Moreno now is in front of him, and he's home, Mexico City. What are y'all's thoughts on this one? Viva la Mexico. Like that? No? Okay. Go ahead, Jose. Sorry about that.
Jesus, you meant
Sorry
okay.
about that. Sorry.
Okay, Milton. No, I mean, yeah, Brandon Moreno's been stuck fighting the same guys because that's just how low quality the top
Flyweight.
of the flyweights are right now. So,
Yeah.
Brandon Moreno, I love the guy. I think he's a good fighter, but sometimes he just, I don't know what it is. When he's in the cage, sometimes
Like
he
autopilot. Seems like.
Yeah,
autopilot.
it doesn't seem like he's going for the kill. He's not hungry no more. It's
right.
And maybe him being in his hometown, his own country, will make a difference. But I don't know. I like him, but give me Moreno losing decision. Yeah.
Oh, I could see that. Chad, talk to me.
Brandon Moreno used to be one of my favorite fighters, if not the favorite fighter. And I don't know. I feel like he's too nice now. I don't know. He started the Lego collection and all this, and started losing fights. I don't know, man. I see.
Give him Henry Cejudo. You know, Henry Cejudo just lost an eye yesterday. So
that.
They have and they have a beef. So
yeah.
And then at least this way, it guarantees somebody a win.
That's good. That's good.
But I see Steve coming in here and just putting it on him. I don't feel like it'll be the closest fight, but it will be a good one. But I just don't have much faith in Moreno anymore. Maybe it'll be a good sight to see since he's fighting a different type of style of fighter. We'll see how he comes out and performs. But I think the ship has sailed on Moreno.
Okay. Well, I don't disagree with either one of you because, I mean, yeah, we all have eyes and we all seen the last couple of Moreno performances. But I do think Moreno gets this one done just because I don't believe in Erceg's chin. And unless Jose is 100% right and Moreno just can't sniff a finish, I think he'll sniff this one. I hope. Again, fingers crossed. I don't know. We'll see. But that's all timing-wise. We did good. Huh?
I like it. I like it.
Right.
No, we did good.
I think that's really all I wanted to discuss with you guys. Also, someday we do have to, like you said, Jose, in the either personal message or group chat, we do got to just like make fun videos. You think somebody's I think we both think I think we all agree on who the GOAT is, but maybe our Mount Rushmore's completely different and we could have that kind of discussion. I think because
possibly,
you know, my qualities are different, but it's not really consistent because I got one guy on there that's definitely a PED abuser.
Brandon Allen's going to be in Chad's Mount
Rushmore. Yeah. all mine are going to be Dagestanis. All four of them doing this. Yeah.
It's Khabib's dad. He didn't find the UFC, but it's Khabib's dad's number one. And everyone's like, "Father's plan."
Anyone underneath is on my list, so you're welcome. But
you can't put Umar up there because he didn't follow his father's plan.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. He didn't actually. He didn't. That was the problem. He didn't follow father's plan.
Let's go, Barao. Let's go.
I can't wait till this comes back because one, you're not going to be wrong because you said it. So you saved yourself anyway. So Umar wins. Yeah, you called it. So it is what it is. You got
everyone was against him. Nobody wanted to believe in Marab, but I did. I knew.
Yeah, whatever, dude. That was stupid. But this was great. Chad, I'm not going to say thank you for being here because you're going to be here. If you're not here, you're dead to me. So don't do that.
Chad, don't listen to him. Thank you for being here, Chad. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate that, brother.
Don't listen to that guy. Don't listen to him. He believes in father's plan. He doesn't believe in guests being thanked. Oh, God.
Right. That's good. That's good.
You know what? He's not even a guest. He's our co-host, and you can't even thank him? Wow.
No, wow. So that's why I was going to get to that. I'm not going to thank you for being here because you're not a guest.
You're duck says it all. The duck says it all.
Here's the duck. Okay. But great show, fellas. Good talk. And yeah, Jose, I agree with you. We got to do this more so we can start getting more eyeballs, all that.
Yeah, we can do it
because
either
there's so much
bi-weekly
to
or
talk.
weekly, but we don't. I mean, there's a lot of topics we can do. We could definitely talk. We could rewind. We could talk about past pay-per-view cards.
Yeah.
We could talk about like really good, authentic shit. That
Right.
why the UFC, why MMA is where it's at today, why it's thriving out there. So there's plenty of things we could talk about.
Right.
But let's close it out. Chad, you want anybody to follow you anywhere? Do you want them to hit you up? Where can they find you?
No.
I agree completely. I feel the same
Can't
way.
find me nowhere.
There you go.
But here.
Puro Pinche Sports, The People's Debate, YouTube. Follow, subscribe, please. I'm in dire need. Jose has it. Got it. He already has it. So it is what it is. But I'm in dire need, guys. Okay, I need some more subscribers. If you please, if you care about us at any point, just please subscribe. If not, just delete me off of your social media. Huh?
Oh my gosh.
All right, end it, Jose.
All right, guys. For Chad, for Milton, I'm Jose Garza. This was Bell to Bell. Ding, ding.